Heck no. Like,
Yes.
I am not gonna do that. Are you crazy? It's just like, this is my thing. Clothes aren't really of gender.
I'm telling you yes now, but I actually don't want to go. Hey guys, it's Kathy Cat, and today I'm here with...
Brandon from Lactose Intoler-Art.
So you've got your own fashion design.
I do, my own fashion design and crazy accessories and little toys and trinkets and my own little world, I guess.
And you've been living here for 4 years.
Yes, yes.
And today we're going to talk about Japanese people. Now living here in Japan and meeting Japanese people, working with Japanese people, what are the difference from back home, American?
I mean, I think any country full of like so many people, there's gonna be a big variety, especially in my neighborhood here. Every corner there's a different type of subculture or person, or like the pastel-haired grandma like carrying the pastel flowers and slowly staring at me with a smile. I'm like, you are precious, grandma. You are precious. In Tokyo, people are very busy, private, I think, which was very different than like where I came from. It was very community-based. People are typically emotionally open and they kind of wear their heart on their sleeve a little bit. And I learned like in Japan, sometimes it's better to just like hold it back a little bit, especially in Tokyo. Just wait a minute, get to know the person that's like, hey, you know what I mean? I think people are extremely respectful and polite and very understanding of people that are trying to speak Japanese as a second language overall.
So actually showing the effort of wanting to speak with someone in the language would definitely get you into more places or open you more doors.
Definitely.
If you just stick with English because you think, yeah, this is great, then you will still be very much the foreigner. Some people like that.
Sure.
I feel like some people want to speak English with you as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely Japanese people that don't want to speak Japanese with foreigners, which is also interesting. I think you see another aspect of the culture when you're able to speak some of the language, you know, with the local people. So
how are Japanese men different to American men?
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask, it's been a question we've been asking for in some of our videos. So
men in particular.
And afterwards I'm going to ask you about the ladies. So.
Okay. Even in America, there's a lot of differences between men and masculinity and what it means to be a man and all of that. And I mean, that's something I've spent a lot of time thinking about. It's really hard for me to make any kind of generalization. I don't know. I feel like in Tokyo, which is where I've spent most of my time and with a lot of creative people, there's not as much of like a gender association so much with certain types of subculture or even like certain types of clothing. But I feel like, especially in rural America, in general, again, it depends, but it's like if you wear certain things, there's an assumption like with gender or sexuality. And I find it kind of refreshing, honestly, that in Japan, it doesn't feel like carrying a bag or like wearing this kind of jacket or whatever doesn't carry like quite so much as weight.
Oh, right, yes.
I feel like people should just be able to wear whatever they like anyway, because clothes aren't really of gender, they're of fabric, you know,
Exactly.
or whatever.
That's a good one.
So I'm
That's a
just
good point.
like, there shouldn't be such an emphasis on gender when it's not so much related. Of course, there's cultural context and all that, and I understand that, but I just feel like men in general, I think, can be a little bit more expressive with what they wear without having to think about one or the other. And I feel like in America, it's a bit more sensitive. It's like, if you're into that, like, we're open to that, that's your thing, but I don't want to be into that, so if I wear that, I have to be a part of that label or that group. And I think it's just clothes, like, if you like it, you like it, if you don't, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, like, what I find really interesting here is that men are very fashionable here, and sometimes wear really creative things.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, there's the genderless fashion that's been a big thing recently. It's like genderless, it just doesn't matter.
Right.
So that's men and women wear that. So that's been a big thing as well, especially since last year. I want to repeat that quote because it was so good. It's just fabric. It's not a gender. Clothes don't have a gender, and I like that.
We should be able to push past that, and we should simply be able to enjoy wearing what we wear because we love it for whatever reason that is. So
how about the ladies? Any differences? Ladies in Japan and ladies in America, differences?
Here's one thing, like, kind of for both that I've personally experienced and not everybody has, but some of my close Japanese friends, like, when they date each other, like, a lot of people won't know it, and then, like, suddenly somebody will be engaged and everyone's like, whoa,
hey,
we didn't know you guys were together, like, what happened? But in America, they're like, I'm going on a date with this person, like, everything's uploaded.
Oh, right, yes.
In general, there's people that are private, but I'm just, I feel like in Japan there's a bit more of a privacy factor. What's not asked is not asked for a reason, and what's unsaid is sometimes more powerful than what's actually said. Sometimes there's a lot of power in just like reserving it, holding it back. I remember like going back to America after living here for a while, I felt like, why does everybody sigh so much? You know, like, you know exactly what they're feeling right at the time. It's like if they're annoyed, they're like, but in Japan, if you hear someone like from 3 train cars away that's like, everyone's like, and they look away like really quick, like they don't want to look, but at the same time someone's like, what happened? Somebody sighed, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't really display your feelings and emotions so much in public.
Yeah, there's a way of like, you know, reading the air without it having to actually be like directly in front of your face.
That's why a lot of people will not get angry if someone breaks the rules or if someone doesn't really comply with others, because they will be thinking it, and you know, everyone around you will be thinking it, but no one says it. I mean, the classical example I had, like we all wanted to get out of a very crowded train, and there was this one person right in the middle who did not get off.
Right.
He was so keen on just staying on that train instead of going out and coming back in.
Right.
And everyone had like to push past him, and literally he did this little twirling thing.
Nobody says anything, right? I know, he's like twirling.
Yeah, he was holding on to the rail on top of it like this.
Oh man.
And when I pushed past him, I just said really quietly, like, come on, please just get off.
Right.
Like in Japanese.
Right.
But, you know, everyone would get really angry abroad. I think people would like,
they
come on,
would.
dude, just
I
get
know.
out.
Oh man, in New York City, people would be having a fit.
Exactly. So you keep that in. At that point, I couldn't keep it in.
Yeah, I know, right? I've had those moments too. I'm like,
I said it politely and quietly, but he still didn't get off. He wanted to do his little dance.
Maybe he just wanted to twirl. He was practicing his train twirl, right? He's just like, this is my thing.
People are quiet. They won't tell you. But I find that sometimes really hard because girls keep so much in that you never quite know if you've done something wrong or not. They might tell you later, or they might never tell you, which I find again is a bit sad sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. That has been a confusing challenge for me just in general with Japan, is trying to figure out how much should I assume and how much should I not assume? When should I actually ask? If my friend is just starting to go off into their apartment and just like be super depressed and not say anything.
Okay.
And it's like, I know you need space, but I also know I'm one of the only people checking on you right now. So should I like stop, or should I check on you because I'm the only one checking on you? I don't really know sometimes. Part of that can be a bit of a language barrier and difference in personality too. Not everyone, you know, reacts in the same way. I think I've experienced more of that with emotional things in Japan. I feel like there's not as much of a verbal openness. Figuring out, okay, what do they really want? What's going on as far as the whole context, the whole situation, not just right here in front of my face.
You know, when people are passive aggressive, I think everyone has found that once in their life.
Oh yes.
That kind of like, wait a second, that is actually kind of passive aggressive. That in a way, you're reading the other person.
Yeah.
So now take that out of context in different situations. Sometimes people, without being aggressive, will try to tell you their emotions in Japan.
Right.
So you really need to learn to read the air sometimes.
Yes.
What I found really interesting is when you go, oh, let's go to that restaurant. People will say, or they might go,
Oh, if I hear the it means no way.
Yeah, that pretty much means I'm telling you yes now, but I actually don't want to go.
That is so true.
You learn after a while.
Oh, you do, yeah.
And it's your job or it's your thing to pick up on that.
Yeah.
Because they want you to pick up on that in a certain way. You need
to
become a bit more sensible, I think. Because if you just run for it with the I'm the gaijin smash, then you lose a lot of potential friends.
You do. You really, really do. Because people in that kind of situation will think that you don't care. You're not being respectful. Because here, a lot of times, it's rude to say it too directly. To imply it soft enough is enough here for a lot of people. So to have to go to that next level is just a bit much, I think. Sometimes if the clues are too subtle, it's like, I don't want to negatively assume either though, you know, that's where it kind of gets caught in the middle at times.
For starters, dealing with that, it's a different culture. Try to ask as many questions as possible would be my clue. This guy like, oh, would you like to go somewhere else? Or, you know, always keep asking and don't assume just because you said something and they say it's okay, that it's okay. At the start, you run your own like selfish mode because this is the culture I come from, the culture you probably come from. It's like the very self-centered. If I say I want to go to the cinema, people say yes, then I assume that's okay.
Right.
But after a while, you get the note of, wait a second, I've been running my selfish style for like a week now.
Right.
Why does the other person not tell me what they want to do? And just ask.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to go to the cinema? We can do something else. What do you want to do? Always double check.
And if you ever hear ちょっと難しいかな。
A bit difficult, or
A little bit difficult doesn't mean a little bit difficult. It can mean heck no. Like, I am not gonna do that. Are you crazy?
Yeah, you don't really get strong words. Like people will never say, "I hate that."
Oh no.
They will never say kirai. You only hear kirai from kids.
Kirai is heavy.
Kirai is
actually.
heavy. You say, "Oh, nigate." I'm not good at that.
I'm not so good at that.
Negative things you don't really hear. Negative things and negative reactions. Yet positive people will be more
Positive, sure.
over the top. Like
Sure.
positive emotions are totally go. But
Yeah.
negative things, just be careful, tune it down a little bit. People don't shout, don't raise their voice, and don't lose their temper.
Unless you're in Osaka, yeah.
That's fine. We have done more talks talking about Japan, living in Japan, giving you a couple of hints, living in Japan or interacting with people. We will put the links below.
Linkity.
And also the links to Brandon's fashion, Lactose
so much.
Intoler-Art.
Thank you.
And I'll catch you soon for another video in Ask Japanese. Bye!
Bye. Thank you guys. Woo!
Woohoo!